just need to add a literal clicker button for you in the center of the screen. Like next to your GMing icon that you just tally up every time. What is that noise?
Oh, one of the other servers I'm in for people focusing had to add a fucking key jingling noise to get people's attention. It is literally labeled "Pay attention, you fucks."
I
Which
think Ninja, if you just scroll up in general, you'll probably see what the previous episode was, just for future reference.
yeah. And
On Twitch, you can see the last VOD. We could implement a counter in here, though. That should, in
Like-
theory, be easy.
technically
I guess
speaking,
not.
I know what episode. I know this is episode 10 because I commented last time that we were almost at double digits.
We could have been at double
Okay.
digits whenever we wanted by just adding a leading zero.
We're at infinite digits, and always have been, and always will be. All-
Yippee!
All right. So where we left off last time, we had made it to town, and two groups, one of Callum and Liam went off on an adventure to go get robbed, and Llewellyn and Teddy and Miko, if Miko wants to, went to go to the market district.
We also found out this entire bathhouse was free, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
this is a free
The
bathhouse.
water
We got
is
some
crazy.
nice fresh fruit at the market.
Yeah, fresh fruit over there, and in the market saw the stunning sign of a person in a white mask similar to the ones that attacked town, entering into the side of a building over here. The group that got robbed managed to retrieve their stuff. And even net positive on the interaction in terms of finding a locket, which has been attempted to be returned, but not successfully, as the guards do not.
Are
Yeah.
fucking lame.
Yeah. You know, sometimes the people employed to do stuff don't want to do extra stuff, you know?
Sometimes I'm tired of the archetype of guards just being fucking assholes.
I mean, maybe you could find a private
We're
investigator.
really even assholes.
They were at least a little bit rude.
Maybe maybe they're a little rude, but they're doing their job and not extra work.
Yeah, except that, like, who attacks a city out in the middle of the desert?
Hey, and I would note, this is only the first guard interaction that he's
I've
had.
interacted with 2 guards.
Yeah, one gave him a flower. No, you've acted with 3 because our boy Gerard
I
was
believe Bernard.
like Bernard was your best friend.
And he was a guard. He was a town
One
guard,
gave-
not a city guard.
Yeah.
Oh, and also there was the guard that we talked to about the water before.
That was
It
also
was
a smaller, more
helpful.
close
There have been at
town.
least
This
there have been
is-
several guards talked to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was the guard.
This is the only one who's been like an
Yeah,
2
asshole.
of them have been assholes.
This is a much larger town with a lot more
Yeah.
the guards have to deal
in
with.
Flower Town, there was the guy at the elevator who's sorry for me that I got sick, but understood it and gave you a flower when you gave him a flower.
That guy's technically less of a guard and more of an elevator attendant.
I never insinuated that I believed every
Fuck
single guard in
Fours,
this
fuck
world.
the police. Looks at a single police.
All right, so you have now regrouped together. What is your plan of action?
Well, where is the masked person?
They went that
Yeah.
way.
Sort of in that building, right?
Yeah.
All right, then we should go check that out. Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
All right. I first off am going to. I would. Can I? Everybody, can I? And I know, if anybody's uncomfortable with it, but well, I it for anyone who wants, I can try to establish the mental connection again.
That might be wise, just so that we can communicate silently.
Yeah.
I will consent.
All right. Reestablish the mental link.
I did not get consent from Forrest, so I'm not going to try to do it from Forrest. All right. So okay. Now this might really either, so this might not work at all, or because it'll be very hard for me to do, or it might just cost me a lot of energy. Oh, so when you said reestablish the mental link, did you mean roll for it, or I did it? I don't remember.
Yeah, you can roll for it.
Okay. Because I do know that was one of my spells, air quotes, but did we establish that as being an empathic, or
Yes.
okay?
By the way, just double checking. Did Lag say anything?
I think you're the only one that's not in.
Okay. I'm in too. Sorry, I was thinking about it, but I'm in.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good.
That twists it. It's now he now tripled the price.
It's okay. We'll just take it out of Forza's pocket.
Okay, I don't no longer consent. I'm leaving.
How would you take energy out of his pocket? The price is energy. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to
Stealing
like,
his granola snack bar.
yes, that
He
is
gets less of the succulent fruits.
his shares cut into.
All right. Yeah, I think those are the only ones that I have to reply to this. Okay. Yeah, and I'll use my D4. So I think we're going to be doing some fighting and or talking, depending on how this goes. Did anything explode? Now, considering this is a spell I already have,
I would say a 10 does work to make the connection, especially because you've done it once before with
Okay.
these people. Like you know where the like lines are for it.
And we're all
Okay.
also, like, presumably actively trying to help.
It
Okay.
does cost an energy just to,
got it.
get maintained, but that's it.
Okay. Now, for the next thing that I want to do, I'm definitely going to be spending dice, because I do expect this to be harder, and this is probably going to suck. But this is me helping. So, I have the expectation that okay, do we think that we're going to fight these people? Or do you guys want to try to talk to these people? Because I kind of don't want to talk to these people, but
All we know right now is that it's similar masks. I'm fine if we just kill them, but they
I
might
don't know
not
if
be
we
the same
want to
people.
do.
That's something we need to be
It's
aware of.
that. It's that, and also I don't know if instant violence is a good idea considering last time they kicked our ass.
Ever-
Did
you ever
figure out the
just
masks of the people that attacked us were only imitations of the one from the flashback, right?
Yes, they exist as a almost as if to make fun of the ones seen in like the memory of the elf guy who died.
okay. I'm going to, through the connection, channel my enhanced cognition into them, to try to kind of, I want to try to feed that skill into them for this segment.
Mhm.
So what do you think I would be rolling for?
Mind magic plus the skill you're using.
Okay. And you know what? Here, can I? So I want to GM chat. Can I side room with you for 1 second? Okay. Ah, there's a secret side room. Okay. So because so because I had when we had done the connection before, we had been like, hey, you know, can I give them the bonus from the enhanced cognition? And we had been like, okay. And I do feel like that had been a little strong. So I want to make a roll to give this to them.
Yeah.
But I would like to also see if I can temporarily kind of take one of my other, like, I want to see if I can, like, I'll blank out the sub skill while this is active for me. Like, I won't be able to roll it, but give it to them.
Yeah.
So I want to give them, if I succeed, awareness for sounds.
Yeah.
And then if I do exceptionally well, social bartering.
Alright. The roll.
Okay. I'm gonna use my. All right. So this is. You said. So for this roll, am I rolling? What am I rolling?
I would say mind plus empath, and then any desperation to it.
Okay. Let's make the roll. And you have those skills that I'm trying to give them marked down or noted.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll use insight to explode my mind. So. I know this is gonna push into the kind of thing that's gonna hurt me probably, but that feels like the kind of thing that Teddy is the kind of just dumb, self-sacrificing person anyway. So, and he really feels strongly about this issue, so I'll spend an energy knowing that this is going to turn into wounds when it's over. So I'll explode this with an energy.
Okay.
All right.
It's 27 plus 12. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and asterisk the ones that I am moving. And then you can describe what this is like for them and for me.
Yep.
Alright, if you could just move me back.
Yeah, also you take... I would say that this does take...
The rest of my energy and then...
Yeah, probably the rest of your energy.
Okay. But I don't injure myself?
No. You push
Okay.
against it, but... Because you gave up things for it, it doesn't go to wounds.
Okay. Alright.
Alright. So, all of you connected to the mental link feel your senses sharpen, especially when it comes to your you just sort of start hearing sounds that, like, even if you have sharp hearing, are a level beyond the norm on that. You also sort of just, like, you feel a bubbliness to yourself that feels like just a generally, like, interactions are gonna go well. Like, feel like in that social
you are
way
the negotiator.
you can push yourself further in terms of, like, getting people to do what you would want. But for Teddy, your hearing has dropped to just above silence, right? Like, you can still hear people talk, but everything is quieter than it used to be. And you're just sort of, you are drained at a level that even beyond your energy, you just don't, you feel like your social battery is at a 0.
I'm gonna, like, step away from my microphone for the effect. But, like... Alright, everybody! Let's do it!
Why would we hear you words?
No, he's shouting.
Yes.
Because he thinks he's talking normal. But
I see.
He's not
I'm
hearing
just sitting
himself
here like,
well.
why is this not over the link?
Oh. Right.
Yeah, mental communication still sounds exactly the same. It's hitting directly into the brain. It's
Sorry.
Cause like, is your hearing okay, man? Cause you were being like extra loud.
Yeah. I was just excited.
Fair enough.
so as you approach this building over here, you see a sign that says "Untuned Employment Office."
So how close
That's
is the
neat.
mask that I had? That I have
What do you mean, how
to the
close?
one we saw?
Oh, like it's
The one I took from the guy I fucking killed.
it's like the style is identical, the shape is different, right? Like each of these masks seems to have a meaning that matches to a person, and the like you could be reasonably certain that they are of the same origin.
Alright. Well, let's head down.
Yeah. You're walking down these steps into the Untuned Employment Office. It's a sort of dimly lit. Uh, you know, there's some desks with like paperwork on them. Um, and behind them are two sort of two clerks who look at you and say, "Are you looking for work? You untuned?"
Who's he asking?
Everyone.
All of us, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm untuned. I just look like this. I got a bad fungal infection.
Just here to make fun
You
of our
gotta-
work.
No, what do you mean? You asked me.
People do that.
That's really messed up.
I'm
Society's
very
messed up,
sick
man.
and I need a job.
Yeah, preach, brother.
I'm sick as fuck.
We only help find jobs for people without magic.
I'm not magic.
Can tell that you're lying to us.
People that don't have magic just look like normal humans.
A normal
like,
human who looks
say-
like you would die.
Yeah, okay. You got me. I was just pulling your leg.
Some of you could be
they-
untuned. If you're not here for berating us for trying to just help part of society, what's your business down here?
Well, we're looking for somebody,
Like,
and I'm
do you
going
care
to
elaborate at
present
all?
the Wolfman. They had a mask similar to this one came down here.
Anyone who wants to can do a sort of awareness check as this guy looks at the mask.
Let's fucking go!
You do all have
It's
This is
a
awareness?
non-hearing based check, so the bonus doesn't help here.
well, I did also
it-
give up the generalized enhanced cognition as
Oh,
well.
okay.
Is
Yeah,
it
that one.
sight-based?
Yes, it is sight based.
But you all also do have enhanced neural wiring right now. So you get
Was
plus
that a
D8.
D4?
It's
Oh,
D8.
Holy
Yeah.
fuck. Wow.
So Callum, in addition to whatever your site-based thing is that you're rolling.
Honestly, it is.
Oh, my perception.
Yeah, as he looks at it, so Callum gets a token and Liam gets a token.
I'm just looking at my attire, going, no,
Well,
maybe
those
they have a
rolls
point.
On the
Oh.
d12s were like remarkably bad, but also
But when you're rolling 73 dice, it's hard to fail.
yeah.
Oh wait, here let me see. Actually, genuinely, am I at a minus for awareness right now? Like, do I have disadvantage?
Oh yeah, I don't mechanically have roll your check, like a site-based awareness on this guy.
I'm gonna roll
And
Be a minus 2.
2d8
That's
and take the
statistically the
lowest.
same.
Well, I was gonna apply a negative to it after you roll.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right, so I'll just roll.
He's rolling.
Oh, there we go.
You know what?
Cool.
I don't think we need to apply a negative.
Do I get?
Negative
I
one.
probably the local man rolls below a 0. All right.
What in the fuck are these rolls?
I noticed that I'm bleeding.
You almost fully you don't notice you're bleeding. You at the end of this conversation will come back into realizing that you just blanked out for like the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like
It's not actually that I noticed that I'm bleeding. It's one of the staff that isn't like whatever Llewellyn notices is what you want him to notice, and that one of the staff notices that I'm bleeding. Like I'm just fully leaking out of one of my ears. Like,
Ears?
yeah. Full blame brain me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Llewellyn, you notice recognition of the mask in the guy's eyes as he says, "I've never seen this. Never seen anything like this."
oh god.
I'll take the mask back. You know, lying is rather rude.
I can't give you any further information unless you know the passphrase.
That's really unfortunate. Do you know how I got this mask?
Wait. I'm this might either kill me or just not work.
This
If
is
you
gonna
say
kill all of
anything
us.
mentally,
We're about to go
can.
into the shit can.
Well, I didn't notice he was lying, but it's fine
Me
enough to
talking to
notice.
the council, ring all the bells. Us talking to this fucking guild? It's
It's
slaughter
fine enough to
time.
notice that he is about to hurt himself.
No, because he isn't making any sign to show that he is about to do that.
I said over the mental link 1 second. I can see if I can figure out the pass link.
Yeah, do a mind. Try to read his mind. See how well that goes for you.
Yep. I'll roll my d20 and I'll use a desperation die.
He explodes 3 times, rolls a 100, full kills himself right here.
Alright, I got a 15.
You know, the
He could roll to defend. Or he might just not know the passcode.
this man doesn't have
He-
magic. He works in an office.
Oh,
Also,
Okay.
how would he's like? I can't tell you anything unless you give the passcode. He has to know the passcode.
Yeah, he
Okay.
knows the
For that-
passcode, and The passphrase is different gifts, same blood.
Damn.
Different gifts, same blood.
You do also take 1 damage.
Cool.
It
I
was-
start
now,
bleeding out of the nose.
Say that part out loud or over the mental link?
I say it personally. Different gifts, same blood.
All right. Head to the back.
Leave your weapons here. Head to the back of the alley.
Which is I mean, you wouldn't. I don't even think you would say that in this world, considering people are weapons. But
It's just
You'll, especially at the untuned employment agency.
Leave your magic at the door.
So you head to the back, and there is a bookcase that is rather dusty, other than one obvious book to pull.
I'll wait
So-
a minute or two
So,
before pulling
just
the book.
because we know the passcode, as tuned people, we are just allowed to walk in, even though they made a big deal out of only untuned people being allowed in.
Except
I
that
mean,
they only find employment for untuned
Yeah.
people. The main
It's not that we
Yeah.
can't be here, it's that we won't get a job here.
yeah, the,
Yeah,
the
they're not
purpose
going
Okay.
to provide us with employment services.
the
Which
purpose
is
Alright.
fucked
of the,
up, to
the
be
building
honest. I
You're
also
just
do
going
not
to
have a job.
stare at us.
the purpose of the building is not what you are doing. You are this is like a secondary thing.
The untuned employment thing is a front.
You also have to know mind readers exist.
I mean, yeah.
Could be walking into something.
Yeah.
I feel like that whole conversation would have raised flags, that's all I'm saying.
Like almost certainly they know mind readers exist, but they also are probably pretty confident that they could deal with what happens. So you wait a couple minutes, pull the bookcase slides over to the side, and there's just a staircase further down.
Oh, let's head down.
We're going down.
So it's sort of like a long spiraling staircase. One level opens up into what you know as the underground sewers of this area. And it continues to spiral even further down. And as you keep you keep walking, you eventually it opens up into sort of a large stone chamber with like offshoots going in multiple directions. And you see probably about I want to say 40 people sitting at different tables. There's like food. This is like a kind of like group eating area entryway.
They got any snacks?
So they clearly have food, so probably asked.
What if I didn't? What if I just took it?
So they think
We
that
are the
would be
most
stealing.
deranged party.
Okay. And I feel like by your tone of voice, you're implying that that wouldn't be good.
I would say stealing is often considered bad. I've been asking chat what my favorite retro console is, and they say that the PS3 and 360 are retro, and I have a problem with that. I don't know
Well,
why somebody's
Unfortunately,
At this
saying
point,
these words
probably.
to me.
Your words can hurt people, and
Retro
think
is
they're,
the
like-
N64 or older.
Listen,
Unfortunately,
buddy,
I think, like,
everything gets old.
they're kind of right.
Yeah, 20 years isn't retro.
You might,
Look-
buddy.
Look, I'd say the GameCube is probably also. We can move it to the
We
GameCube.
can move the GameCube to
Yes.
being retro.
Wow. Just now,
The
GameCube
time
is
scale of
retro.
retro has to change as time progresses.
What is you see? The thing is, anything that was
Like
new
retro
when I
music
was growing up is
the s-
never retro.
Retro
and-
music is like the 70s and not Linkin Park. I think if somebody was like, I love listening to retro music, Linkin Park is my favorite, you would throw that person out of society.
I mean, especially because Linkin Park is still making songs.
Yeah, so is the Xbox.
AC/DC released a new set
That
of
doesn't
songs
count.
not too long ago.
ABBA made music.
You would talk about Ava.
Fuck.
Okay, anyway, what is happening?
I don't know.
Sorry, I just wanted to say
That-
you would.
I'm
In all our time knowing each other, have I ever mentioned that band?
No, but Swedish.
American. Even
Sweet
funnier.
moment.
I was talking about ABBA being Swedish.
I guess
So
my
we-
answer for the
I was gonna
GameCube.
say that no, they're Catholic, but that makes no sense.
But
Maybe it was an illusion. Maybe this town is Swedish.
All right. Well, I'm glad I didn't pump us all full of adrenaline.
just start coming down here and start cracking skulls.
Okay, but like, is it like you walked into an underground convention, just like 40 people with tables just sitting like around?
Dining hall.
Yeah, it's a dining hall.
Oh,
but
dining hall.
No one
Okay,
even
okay.
is really paying attention to you. Like most of these people at the tables are not. It's not like
How
you
they
walked
dress.
in and they like all turned to look at you and like
Yeah, this isn't a western.
clearly all have hands on their belts like they're gonna draw a gun.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, the people up top clearly were
But like, okay,
not like clearly didn't seem to have a way to communicate down rapidly. That,
Nobody
I
even
here is
then-
obviously tuned like up top, right?
are these like 40 people who like what are they wearing, and do they look like they're unattuned?
What
so
are they wearing?
so
Like, are they ragged clothed? Are they like looking like they're going for a rough
What
period
What do
in
you
their
think
life?
unemployed people look like?
I'm unemployed.
yeah, but like
Do you have raggedy clothes?
Kind of. Because I'm a cheapskate.
so they're dressed in kind of like very subtle clothes, like just sort of, you know, the normal wears, the things that you would wear outside here, like nothing flashy. None of them are like wealthy. It's not, they're not dressed as combatants. It's not like they're like, you know, wearing leather armor or anything. Like it's clothes.
Okay.
And to the tuned question, I will say that 90% of people probably look pretty normal. Like you can
Well,
have tuned
yeah, I
traits, but then
guess.
there's like there are plant people who just look like guys. You know, like
Okay,
Yeah,
but
I hear
are
you.
there
I'm just
anyone
trying to get
who's
a
here
vibe
who's
of the room.
obviously tuned?
Yes.
yes, there are a couple people here who are obviously tuned.
Okay, so it is a mixture.
Please describe
Miko.
them.
Mika walking in here isn't immediately raising red flags.
Yeah. There is one person who has sort of bird-like animal traits. The hair kind of becomes feathers at the back. And their nose is sort of longer than you would expect. And looks like it would probably be part, like a beak, almost. Then there is a couple of different energy people who clearly have energy powers. Different, like, sort of, one of them sort of almost has, scales to them, and the other, their skin is sort of a bluish, blue into purple. Those are the ones that are most obvious. You do see some of the more subtle traits on some people. But those three are stand out the most. Anyone wants to can also just roll another awareness check to scan the room.
Let's go.
Woo!
Alright, I
Wait,
think
let
there's
me-
30 to 50 feral hogs in here.
Where's my
So-
shit?
Callum, remember your D8. There you go.
I'm gonna use
You
an insight
explode the
token.
D8.
It becomes another.
But do I
D8.
roll the D8 again as a D8 or a D10 with the bonus?
It is a D8 again. I like how that is your second roll of just a 1 on the D10. Like, at base perception, you are seeing nothing.
Oh, there's a part of me
Yes.
that's like, you know what?
Spend an energy, man. Do it. Who cares?
I'm doing it.
You only live once. All right.
Llewellyn is
The
on point right now.
all-seeing
Yeah. So you
eye.
see, over a 100. Yeah. You notice that while they are not paying attention to you, all of these people recognize that you are either new here or not supposed to be here. They're just not reacting to it.
It's everyone is either new here or not supposed to be here once, and the normal reaction is they're probably new here.
Yeah. The fact that you came as a group very much has them a little more on edge, you can tell. Probably best not to just start a fight, as it is, you're greatly outnumbered. In the group of people, you recognize one of them from town who is probably 2 or 3 years older than you.
I'm gonna go say hi. What? So I recognize them. So what's their name?
This is Roger.
Hey Roger, what's up?
Okay, so
brings you
the
here?
energy in the room probably deflates dramatically.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, they're not on edge enough that they were, like, the energy in the room only, like, there was an energy to somebody who is perceiving at the level of 100 on this in the scale.
Yeah.
Like,
Like most people are like not fully in this. The person with the all-seeing eyes of God.
he was sensing, like, he sensed animalistically that, like, everyone's heart rate was elevated by 10 beats. Like,
What kind of food are they serving?
Oh, I didn't roll. 1 second. I need to get my my point. There we go. Oh, I'm rolling as I keep not seeing that I got an insight because it's rolling as Amy. How do I change what I'm rolling as? Because I have 2 actors now.
you should,
I would have to take Amy off of the map.
No. I just need to drag Teddy on.
that, or you can just click and drag to highlight a box and that doesn't contain anything, and it should roll you back to being at least yourself. Like, if I roll, it rolls as me.
There we go.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so you do have an insight token there from that, as you again just blank the fuck out. You don't even know where you are.
Yep.
So how have you been since leaving, Roger?
It's been an adventure, drifting from place to place. Discovered
I
I
do
had
have-
energy powers, got thrown out of where I was living at the time, ended up here.
That's unfortunate. I do have some rather bad news about town though. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
I
know if
heard
you
as much.
Yep. It's just gone. Who'd you hear that from?
He looks at you as he looks confused as pretty much
Well, he
everyone
just saw
here,
us enter. No?
everyone here should know some amount of stuff related to what goes on here. It's just news around here.
Yeah. I would like these
Sure.
guys definitely did it. Well,
You-
fair enough. I was just unsure how far the news had spread.
No, I'm quite sure it hasn't spread far.
Uh, if you want to make any rolls, I just as like heads up, you have my bartering die and my enhanced cognition die right now.
He whispers to you, "What do you know about where you are right now?"
I'm gonna whisper back. I think enough to know who is responsible.
I think there's a lot you can learn. Just asking. How many people got hurt in
Well, two.
A lot more than two. A lot
A
more
lot
than
more.
two.
Look, Hurt for Llewellyn is dead.
Yeah. A lot more than 2.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, like, no, the
They
only
had
people
some
that we
time
know
to
for
The
fucking
guard.
destroy the town.
The
and probably kill-
guards.
Mm-hmm.
You know that Father Daniel is probably still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Father Daniel probably isn't dead.
as far
Guards?
as I know.
You saw the guardhouse destroyed. You haven't seen bodies.
Except for Father Daniel.
The only person that I know for sure got hurt is Father Daniel and one of your boys. Sorry about that, by the way. I was a little high on adrenaline.
Understandable.
I gotta be
The
right back.
risks that we take when we're doing what we need to do. I need you to ask yourself, do you believe that it's right that people with energy powers are forced to live out here?
No. Speaking of that, if you're involved with that, we might have some things that can help with you guys having to live out here.
I'm gonna send I'm gonna whisper over the mental link to you. Can he if you're talking to him and it seems like, because there's probably just too many people here for us to murder them all like I wanted, and I think I just hurt myself a little too much today.
Is that an open link so that everybody can hear it, or just for
Yeah.
Llewellyn?
It's an open link. Can can he just come with us back to like a tavern or something so we can talk? Because I don't really know what you guys are talking about, but
Hey, Roger,
I
is there
might as
somewhere else we
well
could talk?
want to learn about all this.
Sure. And he gets up, sort of starts making way towards one of the side corridors.
Alright, and I'll tell her else to follow. You remember you remember Liam, Teddy, Callum, and Miko from town, right?
Yeah. Surprised to see a whole group of you all together. I assumed most people would have been scattered by now.
Well, we
Most-
can maybe talk more about why we're together once we have a bit more privacy.
He leads you sort of to what is like a pantry, basically.
Okay.
People don't come in here, especially after food's already been served, so it should be good to talk. What do you want to know?
So, why exactly was town attacked? All we heard about was some sort of experiment.
Ninja.
Mhm.
Before they get into it, can I do an awareness check with hearing to listen if there actually is no one around us right now?
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm also gonna do an awareness check. Give me a second.
Right.
Oh.
You guys get a bonus D8 and a bonus D6.
So I'll have the regular amount of dice because I don't get my sight die on this.
One more.
Liam.
Oh hey, the 8
always-
exploded.
Oh, yay! Liam, you get a bonus D8 and a bonus D6.
I know, I
So-
added them.
One of the D6s exploded. I see.
So is there anybody else listening?
No. These
Is there anyone else around? Not even just like listening, but just
Yeah,
generally
around.
paying attention to us.
like
My
vaguely people are like some people occasionally move in the hallway, but like none of them are like they clearly
Okay.
are not paying attention to what's going on in this pantry.
my role is I want to see, I want to see how, I'm trying to look and see how he looks, like how things have been for him, how he's doing. I'm like looking at him.
Yeah. You see that, you know, for someone only a couple years older than you, he looks to have aged more than the time he's been away. Like his life has been difficult. But he doesn't look angry or anything. He doesn't. It hasn't corrupted him to being different. Just a guy.
Are you taking into account my penalties?
Yes.
Okay, good. So this.
Yeah, I'm giving you a success on this one. You just looking at him.
Okay,
Yep.
got it.
Also, what about me? Because I was perceiving and generally, I can also see this man during this.
Yeah, he's exactly as said previously. You notice differently that he does have like some like on his arms scars. Like just generally he's there's clearly been a lot of conflict in his life.
2 notes on Liam. Liam is very, like, more than usual, intimately listening in on the conversation, but he's also going to position himself. We walked through a door, right? Into, like, a storage place or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Pantry.
going to stand basically leaned against the wall right next to the door, kind of, like, sort of keeping guard.
Mhm.
But I'm, like, very attentively
The
also trying to
pantry door
listen on
probably
conversation.
opens inward.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I'm listening
Perfect
for
to block
noise
it.
and stuff.
Yeah. So you're telling me you don't know about what the experiment was, just that it happened?
So I'm gonna like, how much should we tell him?
I'm very confused about what
I
we're
mean,
telling
we-
him already. I'm gonna be honest. Could you just straight up mention that we killed 2 people in that village and he
Uh,
seems to be working with them, which I find
No,
confusing.
We killed one of
One.
them.
Sorry, one of them. My bad.
They killed the other guy.
Yeah,
Look.
they killed.
My point stand that we just
If it was
basically
somebody
said,
else,
yeah,
I
we
wouldn't be
killed one
telling
of
them.
your,
I don't think
like,
Roger's
one
gonna.
of your members or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and they here.
Also,
it seems like the
the-
guy already knows, but
Yeah.
But yeah,
They're-
presumably.
They.
But-
Yeah, they probably
it-
already know. Like
and
I
we
showed
don't
them the-
actually know what they did to us. We just know what they were planning. Like, we know what they want the result to be. We don't actually know what they were doing.
So you're telling Roger this, right?
N-
Or is this over?
I mean, I was also saying that over the link. Like,
Okay, I was just checking.
like, yeah, I mean, like, they might actually know what they were doing to us.
Yeah. Uh, we.
Like, we saw jars.
Yeah,
Do we even tell them that? Like,
I would say like let's just tell them that we have some idea, because we can mention stuff about what happened in the animal den.
yeah, like we have an idea, but we don't know literally what they were doing to us.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what they were doing this. We have some ideas because of some strange experiences we've had in the wilderness.
Yeah, I'll look after he says that. I'll look at him and like flick my finger and like just a like a Bic lighter. A little flame will kind of come out of it.
And he says, so one of your parents had energy magic?
No, I.
Hmm.
It's
Suspicious,
at
isn't it?
Yeah, at the, I mean, at the.
I don't think any of your parents had energy magic either, did they, Roger?
No. Not to mention the fact that I already had 2 other kinds of magic.
I always. I mean, this isn't. I was thought I had a chance I might get my dad's potentially my dad's body magic, but like this is ridiculous.
I think you can infer what they were doing. But I would think wouldn't know why.
No.
Or how.
Why? We wouldn't know.
About 50 years ago, someone being born without magic was really uncommon. Especially in the societies that were built to, only have one type of magic so you could get it from either parent. It's quite common for somebody to have at least one type of magic. More and more
The
people...
number of Intune has been going up, hasn't it?
the number of Untuned is going up. And due to how they are treated, the fear of those with magic has always been that at some point, if they outnumbered us, bad things could. The experiment is to make the perfect soldier. Someone who can fight off a wave of people who are fighting for their, own future. We were made to be weapons. That isn't the intent of the group who took out the village.
And what is their intent?
Well, they stationed themselves beneath an untuned employment office, so I think it's quite clear that they don't look at the untuned the same way as most others do. In the short, they want us to be free. If you choose to fight alongside them for the rights of everyone, energy magic, untuned, both stigmatized. It's to try to build a society more accepting of all walks of all people. There are many things that we lose track of as people have power.
That is true. There's a reason I prefer my animal forms.
Do we wish that we didn't have to do violence in order to try to push forward our agenda? Yes. But sometimes that is what it takes.
I'm gonna be honest, Raj. A lot of the people were very angry about that attack because of lost contact with families.
We definitely, the plan was always to spare anyone unrelated to the experiment itself. So hopefully none of them came to harm.
I do think they are all alive.
That's good to hear.
As far as we know, they are out in the world. They could be dead or alive.
At the very least, they weren't killed during the attack. Whether they've fallen prey to the dangers of the world since,
That
who's
could
to
have been,
say?
that could have been true with us attacking town or not.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question, Roger.
You definitely, like, there is a tightness of, like there, it's not like a, like, mental, like, unease and, like, disapproval that washes over, like, all of you from me at that sentiment of just like, oh yeah, the world's like, oh, everyone could die as long as it's not directly your fault. Yeah, that completely makes sense.
Was it,
Look, I'm trying to
Jin, did you say something?
make this man feel better.
I said that my browser crashed, but I'm back.
let me ask you a question, Roger. And I'll approach him with my like head kind of.
I gotta be right
Okay,
back.
how do I put this? So if I'm trying to convey seriousness, but like a hint of slight anger, would my head be tilted down or tilted up to convey that?
Probably down.
Okay. And I just want to know something. If all of this was to create the perfect soldier, then why does the village have a tradition of letting people leave?
Because
There's a lot about how the village functions that doesn't work with this grand experiment, and as far as I know, none of the people who left or the people who remain are under any sort of control or obligation to do anything of the sort. So how does this even work?
we're allowed to leave because it allows us to experience the world. Our magic doesn't. The initial way magic comes to you is confusing, right? The first piece of magic you remember doing, and the first piece of magic that you actually did could be entirely different. Because the theory is part of it comes from stress. Your body unlocks this power as a defense mechanism. You then learn to control it, but in its initial moment, just comes to you. So, letting us out into the world, the more likelihood that we experience something crazy that allows us to unlock further powers that are buried deep within.
Okay.
They're always
then
monitoring us.
So what? They're just gonna grab all these people who have left the town throughout the years and then collectively put them together in an army and expect them to listen?
The theory was they only needed one or two.
One or two perfect soldiers.
Yeah.
Sounds absolutely asinine.
Kind of is. That's why we're against it.
It's also very
You're not
short.
scot-free either, because you separated me from my family. Whether you like that or not, whether that was righteous or not, you did something to me. And I'm still angry at you. But as far as that's concerned, thank you for answering my question, and I'll back away.
I apologize for your separation. Hope that you can find them again. You are free to walk this world however you wish. If your goal is to find your family again, they're out there.
They could be dead.
Find it very unlikely.
You've been in this city for a while. You haven't seen any of them, have you, Roger?
Any of his family?
Anybody, I assume.
Honestly, any of ours. I'm not too concerned about mine. I'm sure they've gotten somewhere safe.
You know, you do a little roll here.
He better not be fucking lying. He better not fucking lie.
If he's gonna lie, I'm gonna roll to.
If he's gonna lie, Llewellyn's just going to be like,
Yeah,
Like we have to we have to roll to perceive whether or not he's gonna lie. That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
Alright, so again. No.
Thank goodness it did.
He looks like I've definitely seen some people I recognize from town come in. but in regards to your guys' families, the only one I've seen. I remember seeing. I think it's your mom. I only seen her a couple times in the library. She tended to keep to herself. But he points to you, Liam.
What? And I'll
Thank
run up to
goodness.
him.
I'm gonna like as he runs out.
I'll
Like,
I will.
I'm going
attempt-
to like block him.
I'll attempt to like lanky arm, be like, don't like.
You know, be like
I-
Llewellyn's like log of an
I'm not
arm is going up.
resisting. I'm not like trying to push to move forward, but I'm very much trying to get closer.
Like this is
Oh, this is
like,
great.
this is a reasonably small room.
Like I'm not resisting, so you don't need to necessarily roll for it.
It
If
is
you
a
put your
pantry
arm
for
forward, I will
feeding
like hit the
about
arm.
200 people. So it is.
Like it's not. All I'm saying is like he's already probably reasonably close.
Yeah,
Like, I'll let you approach. I just don't want you running up.
I
on this
I
man.
fail.
Just run up and
I-
attack him. He's like, oh yeah, I did see people. I think I saw your mom. She came into town, and you just punch him. Don't let him explain himself.
Okay. How
Like,
often
once-
does she visit? Do you know where she lives at all? Have you seen more of her
Well, that would be
anywhere else?
that would be the strange thing for him to know. That would be punchable worthy.
Whether or not,
the
whether or
living
not he
part-
knows, the punch is
like-
coming.
She doesn't.
Unless it's just like what district she probably
He
lives
shouldn't
in.
know because he just talked as if, you know, he assumed that like they would be fine, not that he knew they were fine until he
I-
just remembered.
I monitor vaguely who enters town. I don't know where she went after coming to town. I just keep track. One,
But
you know,
also
if
know
it was
who
your
leaves.
father-
You didn't see her leaving?
she hasn't. I don't monitor who leaves, but I don't think she has.
It. I find it hard to monitor
How-
who enters and not who leaves. That
Yeah, like
seems-
that's kind of just if you
You just don't pay
part and
attention
parcel
to
of
it.
the thing.
Okay, I'm going to raise my face. Is anybody stopping me?
I'm just gonna
Will
put
you
my
just
hand on your
slowly
shoulder and
raise-
over the mental link be like, look, we can jump
Look,
him
don't
later.
touch.
It's just over the mental link, we can jump him later.
I'll
This
lower
is
my
not the
fist.
place for
I don't
violence.
know why you're mad at me. I told you that she's here.
I'm
I haven't
mad at
seen
you
your father,
because
though.
whether or not you did it for a good reason, like I said, you took our village and you put my family, our village in danger, the place where you grew up. There could have been a different
We
way.
don't, we don't even know if Roger was there. I
I
understand
wasn't.
your frustration.
I can tell you, I was.
We can be
not.
mad at this organization. We cannot agree with what they're doing and what they've done.
A cab.
So would you have rather us just leave the village to continue to produce soldiers
No.
infinitely forever?
I don't know.
You know what
And
happens
could've-
when the experiment fails?
Death.
You could have revealed it to the proper authorities for them to deal with it.
The proper authorities are the ones who funded it.
You could have told the village.
And
Of them, no.
and be
Your first immediate
Lunatics?
reaction was to burn a village to the ground because it was part of an experiment it didn't know.
I just struggle to believe that any
And whether or not you were there
vessel
doing
for
it, you are in this organization and you are defending what they did.
look, I don't it's not that I don't empathize with it's not that I do not empathize with our position as people wrongly being used without consent, nor can I see the position of people who view themselves as, you know, being ostracized. Though I cannot obviously put myself in their position. I mean, I guess I technically could, right? But I mean, that defeats the point. Mad powers, right? But it's how can you expect true empathy from the masses if the main means of societal change is achieved through violence, right? How can you hope to be better than what you strive to be, overcome? How can you hope to prove anything, that you are not what people fear, not, how do you hope to validate yourself as an organization and not a splinter cell, terror sect, right? Then not through,
We don't
political action and not violence.
don't act out in violence all the time. Most of our moves are
And now all the time, I'm gonna try to internalize the fact and thought that doesn't just implicate that there are other instances where you all choose to become above the law.
there is no
This
law that can stop somebody who is funded by the powers that be.
Become the powers that be.
And allow
There's
decades
literally
more of experimentation.
there is literally a country where you can challenge to become part of the leadership.
Yeah, the Untuned have no chance in that fight.
They're literally currently arguing to allow untuned leadership.
Oh, yes, but they're still not going to win the fight.
Llewellyn.
There are arguments for the future. Those things are pushed by us too. An experiment being done on children with the possibility of the most terrible pain and suffering that any being could ever experience is worth being stopped straight away.
You and
Oh, well, you
every
certainly
act
suck
you
it.
perform like this only serves to galvanize these actions.
Yeah, most of these people think that it was just a rig by the energy people. They are no better off. You're none the wiser about the experiment.
What you have done in this,
Nearly start a war.
and I am sorry, but I cannot in good conscience say that literally people have gone, the refugees you created in this action are literally going like fingers to all of the other nations, uninformed of your good intentions and petitioning for relief. The fact that there was an energy user among your assailants was informed already to one of God. the
Haven't
this
stopped
is
them from
just
becoming soldiers. You've just given them a reason to fight you.
this is just madness.
What we did, who was on that mission? Not my decision. Would I have sent an energy person? Probably not.
I
It's all so short-sighted. What's going to stop them from just building another one?
or two, or being more secretive about it next time, or not allowing the illusion of free choice in the ascend the mountain and you know some of you get to leave if you choose to. Maybe we would be more further indoctrinated with harsher nightmares of what the outside world would look like next time. I
All
God,
of all of those things would take time that we can use for political gain. You want us to do it non-violently, and yet I have not heard an answer as to what we should have been letting happen to those that would just continue be born into a life of that.
Here's the answer.
I
Yeah, as far as I see it.
my brain is
You could have
literally
told the
leaking.
village.
Yes, the majority of us had no idea what was going on.
Yes,
Whether or
most of
not
them
you
are running
believe the
right back into the.
political, whether or not you believe the political side would take forever, what you could have done is just gone to us and told us what was happening instead of just burning down our town and making us scatter into the wind with no idea what the fuck happened.
Would you,
If
in
if
your own
multiple
mind,
generations of former children came and showed powers that we knew they didn't have when they were children,
do you see multiple of us? I'm the only one of our people who've made it here. It's not a plan of all of us.
Honestly, I would have been convinced even if it was just you.
You might have been. The issue is that it needed to be everyone.
Even then, they should have known. Now they're just running actively back into the hands, and we'll come back to burn down this town if they're asked.
It was poorly thought out. Even if you needed to do the attack, the whispering agents whispering amongst themselves about an experiment is the only reason we even know that there was an experiment.
there could have been further outreach to to find and meet up with children as they were leaving the village.
Even just having your energy guy shout super loudly about the fucking experiment.
I
But would we not be
Anything would have
seen
been
as the
better than
lunatics?
this.
Are you thinking that everyone is willing to believe there is a grand conspiracy?
if you march,
It's better than nothing.
Maybe not, but they are
we
willing to doubt.
we have we have no way of knowing what could have been, what could not have been at this point. We're all in the, I mean, who do you even grieve? I'm not willing to believe that you don't, but I can't know if you are as actively grieving as we are. I know I might never see my parents again. I don't know if they're alive or dead.
I grieve at a level that you haven't experienced. You fear that your parents are lost to the wind. I have seen what happens when the experiment goes wrong firsthand. How it tears a person apart. If you had seen it, you would stop it with whatever power you could. There would be no time of waiting. I had friends
Have-
too. It's strange that I'm alone.
If shown what was under the mountain, there would be no doubters at all.
Did you just say that out loud?
No, I think
That's not the thing you want to hear from the DM.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I haven't had you guys roll to consistently lie to this guy. But
yeah, I was sitting there like telling him like that's the only reason we know about these. And like, do I have to roll for this?
yeah.
I mean, I don't think it makes sense for that to have been said over the link.
Yeah, I think with how out of it Teddy is,
He does say it.
yeah,
I mean, Lowen's already been like mulling over telling this man about what's under the mountain.
And you saw it and that didn't change you enough to know that it had to be destroyed.
Well, we saw it, and then we saw the attack. So we were a bit more most of us were more concerned about the safety of our families.
Reasonable. Did you read the records?
Yes.
Do you know the names of those who? What was the word that they used? I believe their choice was destabilized. Sort of, just cold and calculated way to say torn to shreds from the inside out. But
Oh no,
Stable and malignant were definitely used.
yes. We've some of us have experienced well, sort of experienced destabilization.
how so?
They have jars.
Had. No one has the jars anymore.
Well, I guess
I
I'm
think
pulling out my jar.
You're pulling out the jar?
Yeah, it's quite enough here. We could stop
So
them from
you-
taking if we need to.
So you sent someone to remove, or rather, I suppose, destroy the jars.
Yes, we had an insider who knew about the lab. We needed to be able to destroy it. The attack was only to get rid of key people who do have only the most evil in their hearts, and then destroy the lab that has years and years of decades of research. If someone tries it again, there won't be. And then he sees you pull out the jar, and like, get rid of that. Why do you have that?
Well,
Well, we saw 6 types of magic and didn't know what it was.
He hears that and is just
we have the most important jar.
They have a jar of all 6 types of magic. It likely means the experiment has worked.
Well, did we have it now?
Yeah, had.
Yes, but the fact that it exists, we assumed that they had gotten close. There were several jars that implied them getting close. With that jar, anyone who knows what they were doing with it could recreate the experiment and do it perfectly.
With only the jar?
They would need the knowledge of the experiment itself, but we haven't found everyone who is connected. They exist out there. They just don't have the resource. Knowledge.
They don't have the records either.
That's at least.
I say
reassuring.
mentally over the link. I don't.
I certainly I'm not letting him know I have them.
And I don't want to destroy the jar either.
Like, of course not.
The only reason I even risked it is because we could definitely get out of here without anyone noticing in time.
I also like Llewellyn could just grab the jar from your hands and just shapeshift him
Wait
and
enough.
fucking leave.
Enough here. If we have to, we could tie him up and just walk away before anyone notices.
I mean, I'm tired, and he might be a relatively powerful
I mean,
magic person.
Llewellyn could probably just kill this
Yeah.
outright.
Oh God.
He doesn't particularly want to do that.
Oh God.
Obvious you
If
don't
you
think
knew the place was there, and you had a ways of just giving like a mind mage with mental images or of that and ideas, showing that images or memories of that research alone, that would have been enough. Thoughts of that just marching people to that one at a time, two at a time, saying, please just, I know this sounds like a lot, but we have a physical place we can show you.
you understand that the people in town are pawns.
Yes, but then it's not. Oh,
Who do we
God.
show it to after that?
We still are pawns.
You
This would have
act,
at least changed that.
and yet it. And here I thought your main concern was saving the town from as much death as possible. The town could have vanished, and you could have destroyed the lab.
Did you not? You've talked about the rule about being able to leave. Do you not remember the other rule?
Out of character, what was the other rule?
You're not allowed to go back. Your parents said that they think that it's not a real rule, but in your memory, you don't remember anyone coming back. The only people with a chance to figure it out leave. Does a small town in a rather peaceful area need that many guards?
Of course it doesn't.
keep people from coming back. Turned away at the gates. Turned away before the gates.
Hey, what was this guy's magic types? Because we would know
Energy.
this, right? That's the new one he's not supposed to have. I'm talking about the other ones.
Yeah, he's mind body.
Would have been on the records
Oh,
if nothing else.
he's related to
You know,
what's his
for some-
name from team whatever.
for somebody with
he was
mind and
on-
body magic,
from Veronica's
you're
team.
not very. You lack creativity. They allow new people in somewhat frequently.
You had the
You
records,
couldn't-
you know that they were monitoring us. We would send in a person unrelated, and you don't think that they were keeping track of who we interact with?
Their surveillance isn't perfect. It was worth at least attempting.
We did try to send some people in. Not everyone in town didn't know. And not everyone in town didn't know for different reasons. Well, didn't not know for different reasons. I empathize. I do. Beyond an apology and saying that I'm sorry that this occurred, what more do you expect from me? Do you want me to turn back the hands of time?
I
Go ahead, Hunter.
the sheer willingness as an organization to do and excuse violence galls me, and if you could, I would ask that you cease this moving forward, but I do not think you will.
I'm not the head of an organization here.
I would ask that you would push to do so moving forward
We
as an
try
individual.
our best to do as little in terms of violence that we possibly can. The village was an exception, not a rule. You have seen one interaction with us and believe that we are just doing this all the time across the entire planet.
Well,
You should
you know
at
what
least
they
let
say
them
about
know
first
why when you burn
impressions.
down their homes.
It was my home too at one point.
And you forgot that apparently.
No. When one of you
But-
turns to dust in front of the others, come back and tell me how that made you feel, and if you would have done anything to stop it from happening to another person.
I think we should choose to end this interaction here
I think,
because
and I'm gonna get right up in his face.
I am going
I'm
to.
gonna like.
I'm getting nose
you
to
back.
nose.
You're going. I think we all should try to.
This is a
And this-
strength check.
Okay.
I am going to roll and hope with my disadvantage on most of my things, which is
So
a
this
lot
is
of fun.
muscle in this case.
Yeah, muscle.
Oh, so I it's the 6. So
All
Uh,
right, yeah. I'm not moving.
Alright.
Yeah, hold on. Let me actually roll real quick.
What was your plan?
Muscle rolling?
You're
Anyway,
not.
it doesn't matter if I'm close to him, but what I will do is I will pull up
oh hey, your
Our
D6
map.
exploded.
and I will say you will point out
Unfortunately, that
exactly
doesn't-
where this library is.
What library?
Weak.
The one where my mother was.
That was the library in town. where you guys grew up.
Okay, Ninja, that was on you. I thought
Okay.
that was the library
buddy.
here, like as a player.
I thought you meant that
Sorry.
he saw her here.
Because calling
No.
this town and where we grew up town led to a lot of confusion.
That's why I was pissed, because he said, "Oh,
No,
I don't know
he
where they
has
are,"
seen
and
her
then-
here. He recognized her and didn't bring it up because your mom wasn't commonly like she
But
mostly.
she was from the village.
Yeah, but like
Either way,
we had talked
point
about
out where you
this.
saw her. Either way, point out where you saw her.
Points out he points out the gate that leads to the road that goes like the one you just came in at.
So you saw her leave, or
No,
did you
she
see her
came
enter?
in.
Okay.
I didn't monitor her past that.
So she's somewhere in town.
She could be, or she lived through another gate. We don't know.
All right, I'm gonna just try and make a sketch of Liam's mother real quick, while I still have
Well,
the good dice
care
for
to
that.
explain to me how you have such a detailed memory of my mom?
Why are you looking at my
I
mom
have-
so much, weirdo?
Sir, one, I don't know how good the sketch is yet.
All right, you do have.
You
Wait
better
a
natural
second.
20
Yeah,
this
alright.
shit.
All right, you do have
Memory.
enhanced cognition right now, so
Fucking Michelangelo
extra
level
D8.
Yeah.
artistic beauty.
That's a pretty good sketch.
why are you focusing on her legs so much?
Okay, we are leaving.
I mean, it was just a sketch of the face.
Oh, okay.
Full body sketch.
And I'm gonna hand
Like,
this to
I'm not even
Liam.
gonna look to confirm what Teddy said. So for all I know, Teddy said the truth, and we're done.
I am handing this to Liam and is like, see if you can use this to have the guards help you find her.
Maybe it'll help me this time.
I'm gonna
Because
tell
it's
you
a
guys,
person, not an object.
just as the GM, you guys have ability sets that can help you find a person in this city.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm also going to be looking for them when we leave here.
Yeah, you give Teddy
actually-
a fucking nap, and then he can roll whatever he
Or,
wants.
or I just become a bird and use the all-seeing eyes of God.
Well, that would require her to be out and about.
Look,
'Cause you
it-
could perceive, as long as she isn't visible in town.
yeah,
Okay,
no, it's
okay.
just I can tell whether she's out and about or not.
She's not.
I will-
guaranteed, but
I will
not going
ask.
for groceries yet.
Llewellyn, are you like okay? So you did manage to draw this really well. Would you consider your character like an artiste that could draw other things, even if they were like? If I gave you the watch with the family that was on it, could you draw them?
probably the drawing is one of Llewellyn's hobby.
All right, then I'll ask you to also draw the people that are
I've-
in the watch.
I forgot that I probably should have had the
That one's for like just generally because like I want basically us to keep an eye out for those people just
Okay,
in
so
case
there's-
we happen to pass by.
Yep.
Difference between with reference and from memory.
Yeah, which I mean, a 17
That's-
from
that's
like,
what- like it is. His reaction of why do you know what my mom looks like so does make sense. It is a shockingly accurate thing for a person you last saw at best a month and a half ago. Like
and that
Hang on.
I only saw somewhat frequently in town from a distance.
Yeah.
Hang on, this might start another tangent, but it's a photograph and not a painting in the locket, right?
By the way, Lag, could you
I
heal
believe
me?
it is a photograph. Yes.
Yeah, like my main point was just I was trying to ask Llewellyn to draw the people as well, just so we have an
Wait,
image of them.
Yeah, so Llewellyn keeps parchment and charcoal on him for this purpose.
What were you gonna
Okay.
say? And
Lag, can you heal me?
oh yes,
All right, so are we leaving? We feel like
Yeah.
we are like
Yeah.
I
stomping out of
asked.
here. Well,
I'm not.
okay.
I'm like
Are we gonna
trudging.
ask him about the person that entered this place in a mask? Like, are we gonna ask them if they
No,
know where they
I don't
are?
think we
or-
need to know that exact
We know that
person.
they're part of the organization.
right.
Okay,
So
so we-
I'm gonna spend an energy to make that a success, healing and healing
I
Teddy.
will. There is one thing I'll ask him, though.
Yeah.
Do the people in charge here know about what you're up to?
On what level you're talking about?
Okay. So it's like
So some of them do.
Mm-hmm.
How high up on the scale does that go? Just because I haven't decided yet how I feel about what you're doing here, and I don't want to accidentally inform the authorities that there's a terrorist organization in town.
yeah, we don't want to get you in trouble accidentally.
Llewellyn, sometimes the
You only want to
balls
get it
you
in
have to
trouble
say crap
purposefully.
in front of people who can actively endanger us later on astonishes me.
We're alone in a pantry, and I'm
We are a
reasonably-
group of misfits, and you're like, we have the balls to tell an organization to their face that
No,
we will
this is
report them to the
who
cops.
knows, so we can not tell
Why
them.
are we threatening them?
I see. The thing is, which is hilarious because he says it in a way that he says it in a way that we all like. You're like, dude, that's super threatening sounding, and like the other guy might read as threatening sounding, and I like, yes, like I like
It is not
sounding
a threat.
completely half dead is like, yeah, we really like are kind of dumb and like don't want to actually get you guys in trouble.
So why not
Can
just
make it
not talk
intentional.
about
That
it to
makes his
anyone?
role social.
Why do you need to know who you could talk to about? It's just
we
read me
end
the
up
incentive here.
because we like having cool friends.
We are not friends.
Well,
You're kind of friends. I like having friends. I mean, you
Like
were my friend,
we are
George.
friends, but like Roger is not my friend.
I mean, no, he worked at my I mean,
shape.
you worked at the butchery when anyway.
Yeah. I cared about town.
I mean,
I feel like
mean-
I've joined a group that has beliefs that I align with. You might not be the same,
We
and
don't
that's your right.
Disagreed over the means, but that's over now. It's at least better here than Elderwood, where there are people keeping tabs on them.
Yes.
it's valid.
Yes.
Don't talk about it if like you get rattled by guards, but like maybe the energy pope knows.
Yes, that was more my concern because hiding things that don't need to be hidden from the top tier. I was not planning to be speaking about this to anybody.
Yes. There are people near the top who know.
Okay.
And we are not alone. This is not the only place that this group exists. At the end of the day, our goal is just find a place in the world for the untuned. And energy people.
I mean, one would hope the Energy Empire capital would be a safe place for that.
Well, for the energy people it is. That's why that's less of a focus here.
I know. I'm very tired.
Mm.
I
think
did a thing.
The hope is
I'm pretty bad at
the
I
energy
get
people.
very worked up and like I'm
I'm gonna just put
very
my hand
hurt.
on Teddy's shoulder. I think what Teddy was trying to say is It seems like this would be a good place for the Untuned, given their mutual oppression.
You would think, but there's even some people who have energy powers who like to punch down. Everyone's looking for something that lets them be better than someone
Everybody's
else.
looking. Everybody. Anyway, we should probably go search for Liam's mother.
You
Liam will be
know,
the last one out the door.
hey, before I forget, you liked guarmum fruit. Savaccios. I take one of the guarmum fruit I bought, has a really good deal. He's a bit of a prick, but I I I bartered him down. You probably know this town better than I do. If you're hungry, I don't know if you were done eating. We kind of interrupted you.
Yeah, you look behind him, and there is those fruits on the like on one of the shelves of the pantry. Like, yeah, thanks. I do appreciate it.
Okay.
I
just like reek of someone whose energy. I'm gonna say like the word is cooked. Like that's a in universe phrase for someone who's cooked off their energy.
Yeah, you're not doing great.
Yeah. Like my skin is like flaking off like little sheets of rock. I'm gonna stop talking and let you guys talk.
Liam, being the last one out the door, will turn around and give him one last question.
Yeah, you heal him. You heal him one physical damage. You take an additional energy to. It costs you one energy to do the healing part, and the one energy to make it 6. Yeah, you're gonna ask him a question. Shoot.
Yeah. What kind of paradise are you actually hoping to find?
I hope for paradise.
Something that is realistic or something that is just fantasy?
I hope for a paradise is to be unrealistic. I just hope that one day I'm allowed to live wherever I want.
What
I'm
about right
hoping
here?
good place to be, but it's not freedom when you have to be here. And
Well,
it's not about me. It's about who I lost. Keep your
Who
friends
did
safe.
you lose?
no, Liam will leave hearing that last part, not saying a word.
Who did he lose? The name of the person whose record you read about destabilization would have been the person he was like. That person was the same age bracket. Like,
You know, I was
logically
just
could have
checking
left
like
town.
who they were to him mostly.
Oh,
Oh.
fuck. God, how do I organize this in my notes?
Most important person I've ever known.
There was a few people we looked at in
Sorry for your loss.
the lab.
Who wrote the note about the destabilization for that?
Those records didn't have like they didn't have like a clear author tag for any of the pieces of information.
Okay. Who was assigned to monitor her?
Like, they also didn't really have that because it sort of seems like there was a network where just like the monitoring wasn't clearly like you think that if it was clear who was monitoring who, he wouldn't have been able, like he said earlier, they haven't found everyone who was involved, right? Because even though they had even if they had the employee records, like even the employee records didn't keep accurate information because most of them are acting almost as spies. So you wouldn't want to like just have a note that says this person is monitoring. Like it would have become clear if only one person was monitoring them what section of the world they were looking at.
Okay.
But you,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. I would need to loop back. It's been several weeks since I gave you that piece of information, but it might have had the location of where she destabilized, but I need to look back on that.
I definitely need
Is-
to
I
get some
remember it
double
having a
checking on that
location,
part.
just that it was unstable.
Yeah.
It's surprising that it didn't have the location. It feels like it would have.
Yeah, if it doesn't, I will give you a location for it. I just don't want to give a location now and have given a location previously that like
You did not give a
conflicts.
location previously?
Does this organization have a name, by the way?
Definitely should. I haven't really named it. It's on my level.
Well, that's fine.
I don't know, the
I
Untuned
haven't personally
Liberation
named
Front.
it, but everybody else got a kind of name.
Yeah, definitely gonna go with something as straightforward as that. They could be called the Same Bloods.
I mean, I'm not forcing you to come up with a name. It just sounds like
It's
they
like,
were the kind that
we're
would have
gonna
a name.
we're gonna have him tell us the name, and then you tell us what the name is after you've come up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is George. So
His name's Roger.
Wow. Was
I
that
get it,
about
man. That,
Baldur's Gate?
that hearing
that's what
effect really works
ADHD
well.
That fucking
Yeah,
Baldur's
I
Gate.
actually
dark
named this
shit.
guy, just not the organization. The organization's name is George, though.
Well, now you have
Alright,
to
let's-
come up with what the acronym means.
All
Let's-
right, we're leaving.
Let's
this-
get out of here and start looking for Liam's mother.
I mean, we still have to find Mr. Energy Birdman.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing.
We're not
I-
doing that, and we're taking the parcel. I like it. I'm in on it.
I mean, we're going to, but also he's going to be. He's not leaving here. Liam's mother might.
Here's the deal. To the party, I'm going to say, all right, let's go talk to this Phoenix guy, because
Please let me sleep.
Yeah, we should do that in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, looking at I almost said Teddy at the corner of my eye, I will notice all the blood coming from every open surface of the
Yeah.
body.
What?
It's
I will
actually
wonder
all
exactly
dried
how
at
much
this point,
blood
'cause
this
he,
body
like,
contains.
He has been healed, so it's all dried blood. It's not actively flowing.
I mean, that means it's blocking.
So
He's suffocating.
Liam,
Hmm.
before we go to bed, I'm gonna take a look around town from the air to see if I can find your mother. I'm gonna hand him the charcoal and some parchment. Do you have a message you'd like me to give to her
If you find
if
her,
I find her?
I'm gonna
Okay,
go try to find us a place to.
We're all gonna walk with you. It's just
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
it might be best for us for you to just wait for the message until we've figured out our lodging.
Yeah.
let's
While we're
find a
walking
nice-
to find a lodging, I will be thinking about a method.
And I'll suggest once we found the lodging, you might wish to include where we're staying.
Yeah.
All right, let's try to find a nice hotel, everybody. Or inn.
Yeah, you find a rather nice inn. It's like
No, we have to compete over this. It's important.
Oh, okay.
I want the one
I'm
that's
going
to, the
to
middle.
find the best
want the-
inn in town.
I want one that is in the middle circle.
I want to see how poorly I do. All right. So I am going to probably die.
We still
No.
have enhanced cognition.
Would this be aware or mind?
Probably aware because we're looking.
Given that you have been here before and did have to stay nights, I could let you use mind as well. You just pick whichever of those two you prefer.
Okay.
So everybody else is still doing the other one though.
How it
Finally.
explodes.
I guess I chose correctly.
Well, you chose a good in. I have not yet
Oh,
rolled.
Callum, remember your D8 from enhanced cognition.
Oh, right.
The thing you will never remember. It's D8X.
Yeah,
That means it'll re-roll itself when it hits max.
Yeah, it's automatic explosion.
Oh, fucking hell! I can't stop. I don't mean to be so.
Oh,
fucking
Liam,
gross.
if you have an insight token, you can explode your D8.
I'm not worried about it.
But
So
it's
I'm
your
gonna
first
explode
D8,
that.
which is a skill.
Explode the D6. That's a skill. I'm gonna spend an energy to explode the actual stat die. So what is a 60? Oh no, what is a 56 find me?
So actually, Boris was spot on that the fanciest inn in town is in this inner circle where mostly nobles
I want to
hang out.
mention, Miko. Or do you want to roll to find an inn?
Sure. What was that? That
Eh,
I'm
Aware.
searching from
It's
the sky. So let me know
aware
if I
plus
find
D8.
anything else with that big roll.
aware?
No,
Is
you,
it
you,
aware?
you
Plus, yeah, aware.
If you're
It's
gonna lump
awareness
it
plus
in with the
D8.
other thing, I can tell you that you circle the entire city.
Oh shit!
You don't just see his.
Wait, why am I junior?
Also, why did
Because
you
you
already
gotta
have a D20?
I have a D20 and aware.
You've reset it, but we'll let you keep
Oh.
that.
Giving yourself a sub skill.
Yeah, there's a supposed to reset at the.
It's session
Well, I wasn't
start.
there.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, but it would have reset at the start of this session.
Yeah.
Just do it at the end of this session.
Yeah, it's fine.
If you put a token into it, you could roll the D100.
I don't have a token. I
You
don't
can
have a
spend
token.
an energy.
We are about
I
to go to
could.
sleep.
We
so-
are, we are about to go to bed.
Yeah, so if you roll the D100, there's a chance you beat the 60 something that.
Yeah,
Llewellyn
okay.
got.
we somehow bed in the palace. Holy shit.
The one. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted. Also trying to
the
keep an eye out
Phoenix
for.
guy is
So-
sitting in his
so-
king size bed, and we just sit like right next to him.
So, Llewellyn, you spot this inn that seems to be really upscale and nice, but Miko sees that there's like
A hole in
that
the
one
wall.
is
I
that's
see into the future.
that's the one that like
I can see the future.
that's the one that like as nobles just enter this area they get to see, right? Actually, this branch of the palace is an inn for traveling like important people and
Like us.
and
I
Mik-
like how we found this. We have no way of affording it.
actually what I was about to say is and because
We have a missive for the king.
not even because
Oh,
of the
right.
missive for the king, because Miko's father used to be a member of the highest council in the Elven Lands.
Also that and Llewellyn
And-
like isn't like noble. Like Llewellyn's reasonably well off.
like you actually get it at a steep discount of all of the gold that you remaining have.
Nah,
I don't
we're
even
gonna get
know-
this shit for free.
I have
with the
never
missive.
added any kind of currency to my character sheet, by the way.
I haven't.
don't-
I've just been like, I have money.
Yeah. So far, I didn't want to like. There's not as much incentive in this system to buy a bunch of stuff. Like there isn't like I gotta have plate armor. It's like really, in a world this magical, it doesn't make that much sense. So I've been hand waving a lot of the money. But you might get you might get a sum of money for delivering this note. Yeah, but you've
Yeah,
managed to you managed to find a place to sleep for the night.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's communicated where we're gonna be staying, and you said that I did spot.
You did not spot her out and about.
Okay.
She's
I
actively, if she is here, she is in a building somewhere, not near a window.
Fair enough. I mean, there's more time to search another time.
Yeah.
She's gotta go out sometime. I just do that for like half a day. I will find.
I would say, are we reaching the zone where Gors and Jin want to stop?
I still got like half an hour in me.
I don't.
You don't?
Well.
Okay, like it's fine. We can stop here. The end of the arc is here because you guys have reached the next stage of one of the plot points. It was either that or talking to the king. Either one you did, so you can reset your desperation dice. You also all level up. If you didn't,
Woo!
we didn't
Time
do that
to
last
think.
time, right?
So we slept, right?
No.
Right now.
Yeah, you're sleeping. You're
Okay.
You're
Leveling
asleep
up.
right now.
Alright, what
This
does
has all
level
been
up
a dream.
mean?
That's the unlock or upgrade
yeah, you
type
I
stuff that
have
we
it in my
did.
notes.
Well,
you actually have the rules for leveling up in your notes.
okay. I will.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Unlock
Please.
magic type or upgrade existing magic. Upgrade physical skill. Upgrade subskill.
Yeah, there we go. That sounds exactly
Yeah, the
like what I
upgrade
said.
non-magical skill.
Yeah, so you guys can do that next time. That'll be good.
You're gonna have to catch me up on that at a later
Yeah,
point.
we can leave the server up for a bit to actually do the leveling.
Yeah, and lag, if you want to, you could post that in the Discord version so that people can access it on the server. Thank you.
I figured we'd have trouble remembering that, so I wrote it down.
Thank you, because my thing was gonna be I have to go back and remember
I
exactly.
just remembered because I've been planning this stuff for
He
a
has
while.
his strategies. He's going to break my system more than it already is.
I mean, look at what my perception checks are.
Yeah, but like, I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, your elf eyes are seeing. What else? It's not like you're like also doing every other skill check at that level. Otherwise, we would have problems.
I'm doing a fair amount of skill checks, but no, the only one that's like actually at that level is fucking.
Yeah.
What do
Maybe-
your elf eyes see?
Maybe for the
It's
money
going
issue,
to get
we
worse
could.
because I'm just going to start taking other senses for aware, so it'll just be
Yeah.
actively aware of everything.